Good morning. Our hand today is going to be Jack 10 of diamonds. We are under the gun and we open raise. This might early position, um, early position range. It includes Jack 10. Usually includes a suited Broadway. I'm usually playing them. I'm playing the suited connectors, 10, 9, 9, 8. Sometimes I expand down to 8, 7, 7, 6 just because I forget about it. Definitely as we get to the later early positions, we get them in there. But with early position, we're already playing pretty tight. So this is 10%, and it's probably wide enough for me. First in, you never know. Never know what's going to happen. And at the table, we're looking at some loose players. So what happens? We get 3 calls. Big blind's going to be pretty loose. This is probably 50% easy. You could see 2 out of 2 from the big blind, 1 out of 2 from the small blind. Just 48% overall. He's playing very loose. I think this, of all the players, even though this guy's stats is the second loosest that we're playing, so 43% BPIP, I think he probably has a tighter range. He is basically early position calling. When we look at early position calling, we've got 67% here. We've got 3 bets, 1 out of 30. It's kind of tough to put together like a solid range. We don't have a huge number of hands, so like 2 out of 3. Well, if this is 1 out of 3, you're down to 33%. This is 1 out of 7. If it's 2 out of 7, we're up much higher. So I think overall we're just gonna play as if he thinks he's gonna play tighter. I mean, this is 13%. Maybe we could probably go even larger than this. And if we do, we're going something probably just all broadways. I think definitely pocket pair. We've got our maybe suited aces as well. That's 25%. So maybe that is. Let's go with that range for him. This guy's 34-15. From the button, he's played 38%. Pre-flop raise 23%. He has 5%, so 3 out of 61. 3-bet range. From the button, he's played like 50%. So I think this is probably going to be pretty close to. I have him as a higher 3-betting range, so I'm going to give him jacks plus, ace queen plus, ace jack suited, king queen suited. And so this is closer to 21. And I think that's probably good. And then for the big blind, I just went up over 50%, something like this, and took out queens plus ace king, and say, in a situation that we're in where there's a raise and then 2 callers, big blind's probably going to be fairly wide, hoping to get lucky. All right, so we see a flop of jack 9-7, so we flop top pair with the gut shot. Against 2 callers, this is going to be a bit difficult. I think every player is going to be likely to connect, so it's on us. What do we do? We're the tightest here. Let's see what we can do. So if we thought about betting, let's see that. If we did all of the gut shots, flush draw, open ender, we're at 33%, which means we are betting about 15% or so, and that would be a set, our overpair, and some of our top pair. So I think maybe you start scaling down. Maybe queen jack, king jack. If we take out all of the jack 10. Ooh. So we are putting in a little bit more. Yeah, so jack 10's getting counted in here for the gut shot. All of those 10s are. Let's take those out. especially trips. Oh no, it's not trip. Tens and eights. Yeah, that's probably about right. Maybe not all of our overpair. Um, no, I still think top pairs. I think top pairs betting. I don't mind betting. Maybe Jack 10's a check. Queen Jack's a check. I think we've got a little too much, so we're just gonna leave that. We're gonna leave the top pairs as a bet, and then we're going to add like pocket pair below the board. Um, I think Ace Jack could be a check. King Jack could be a check. That brings us down to 25.42. I still think we're betting the overpair. We're usually betting the overpair. And I think we've got all of that. I think that's it. 64%. I think that's high. I think that's high overall. I don't mind checking more than betting. So, if we're going to be checking, then maybe it's going to be like the gut shots are not going to be betting. And then if the gut shots are not going to be betting, then I think maybe we're restricting it down to sets and two pair, and we're going for like check call. I think that's yeah. I don't think we have that gut shot either. Let's turn this. Okay, yeah. So that's probably better. So 2 card gut shot, no. 1 card gut shot. I think maybe the pocket pair below the board could be, a bluffing hand, and I think that's probably good. And our overpair, maybe. Let's see how that affects it if we have the ace. Yeah, it's gonna raise it up too much. I think this board, it's too connected, to go up against 3 players. I don't think we really want to bet and build up a pot. Yeah, we can be betting for value with our top pair, and there's hands that are going to be calling. But this just connects with the calling ranges so much better than it connects with us. Which makes me think that we're really not going to be c-betting this a whole lot. I think c-betting 60% is way too high. I think what we have is 23%. That's probably too low. We're probably closer to like 30, maybe 35% is just what I feel. But I think this is going to be what we set up our c-betting as. So 76%, we're going to check. I think that's okay. And then if someone bets, we could easily check raise if we wanted to, but I think this is probably just going to be a check call. So check to us, last guy, the button bet. What is he betting? Everyone showed weakness. So this guy, I'm not so much. I think he's probably going to be checking a lot. This guy could be betting the straights, 2 pair, overpair, top pair. I think he could be betting all of his pairs just to see where he's at. Maybe flush draws. Old C bets are 50%. C bet stats are 50%. How many hands are these? 6 out of 12, 1 out of 2. Okay, so we're getting that. I think he's probably betting, pairs. Probably betting draws. We'll give him all of the pairs. We'll give him a flush draw open ender, and we'll give him. I think the gut shot's going to be a little bit too much, but that's what we'll give him. We'll give him that bet. Villain 4 folds, so he was a big hand, and it comes back to us. And then of these hands that we play, I think we are going to be calling with the overpair top card. These gut shots, middle pair, like ace 9 2, 10 9, 9 8, 8 are calling. I think it's really just like the no made hands that we're not calling. So ace 10, king 10, queen 10, those are all gut shots that I think we call. I think king queen calls. Oops. So I think like ace king, ace queen, ace 5 are probably just going to be folds. So I think that's going to be our calling range. And then this guy folds, so we are now heads up. Two clubs. Two clubs comes out. We check called. I think we check again. I think we're going to be checking again 100%. Doesn't really improve us. A draw doesn't hit. I think if a draw hit, if a heart hit, we could possibly justify betting the leading here, but it doesn't. So I think we're just going to check here. So I like the check. Villain 2 checks behind. So as he checked, we're going to eliminate his strong hands. I think we'll include 10s. X those out. And then I think his flopped flush draw is probably, I think an aggressive player like this, 50-50 for c-bet. I think a flush draw continues betting. Maybe. Maybe. So this is, yeah, I think so. I think flopped and turned flush draw. That's kind of the question. I think open-ended straight continues betting. So we're at 68%. So we're going to leave that. So again, his high cards really became weak, and now we should have the lead. The 8 comes out. 8 of clubs. Even if he had a draw, we're looking at probably the heart draw is what he would have. So it's on us, and the question is, what do we do? I think we could bet some of this. I think we could bet some of the flush in the straight, go for some value. I think we could also justify some of the calls. I think our bets would be too much, so even like top pair plus, that's 92.5%. And we're looking at 37% betting here with the flush and the straight. I do think those are going to probably be value hands. And then maybe you go like middle pair, nothing. I think with our straights, we're going to probably have to decrease it. Because right now you can see we only have 7.5%, which means we're looking at something like that. I think not having Jack 10 helps, or not having the Jack helps because it makes it likely that he'll be able to connect with it. So yeah, I'm probably thinking something like that. Maybe the straights. Maybe we bet with the 10, and then we go back to the flush. And we say, like these hands we don't bet. And that kind of gets us a little bit closer. So what do I do? So I'm basically saying sometimes we could bet here, and then the rest of the times we check, but I don't think we're betting a whole lot. So we checked. Villain checks behind. We're going to lose out on some value here, but I think that's okay because I don't think we want to be super aggressive in this pot. I mean, if we bet, what are we looking at getting called? Maybe another jack or maybe another 10. So we bet hoping to split. So villain shows ace 9, shows that second pair. I do think we have that in there. Now we had the suited versions, he had the offsuit, so we didn't include that. So we're gonna take a note here, but I think it kind of goes with his regular hand strength. So but with ace of hearts. So just overall, like everyone checks to him, and then he fires out a bet. I think he's going to be betting with like basically any pair. So he bets. I don't remember how much he bet. He bet fairly large. Was that the pot? He did. At 100%. And then check on Jack of Hearts, Nine of Hearts, Seven of Clubs. And that's probably, he took his shot with that 100%, with that pot size bet on the flop. He got called and then said, okay, I have to call it quits. So I think maybe that, if he bet a little bit smaller, maybe he has a few more heart draws, and would have continued with it. What do I think of my play? I think my play is okay. Again, this board I think hits the callers a lot. I don't think we're going to be c-betting it a lot. We're going to be getting called by people in position, and it's going to be harder for us to play it just being out of position. So I don't mind the check call here. I think we're going to probably be check calling a lot of our range, and then I don't really think we're going to be leading on the river much. We could, I guess we probably mix it up, but I think, just taking the pot as it is was okay. So I don't think it was a terrible hand for us. All right, so hopefully you enjoy this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another.